Eric Van Duijn, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us. For our viewers, as you know, Elevate was this year's Congress claim, which should be quite natural for you. As a pilot, you've spent more than 20 years in the military and aircrafts. Now, with this in mind, what would be your key recommendations to a leader to elevate ourselves today and reach a higher flight level?
Okay, a very good question, Sherril. Let me give the answer to everybody here directly. Try to lift yourself. This doesn't work. Elevating is about elevating the team members of your own team. Help the people around you, and you will reap the fruits from their success. That's what I would tell every leader today.
Elevate those around you. That's great advice. As a pilot, Eric, you're used to running through a checklist before, during, and after a flight, correct? Would there be any benefit to leaders today using a similar tool with their procedures?
Yes, I think checklists help a lot, but they're not a solution to everything. I think for a leader, it's best to have a huge setup of different checklists ready so he can answer to every specific situation with a standard solution. That way you will shorten your procedures, be faster in the process, and everyone around knows exactly what is going to happen. But I must tell you, in nowadays world, the world has become so fragile and so volatile that checklists do not always provide an answer.
You've got to be able to be flexible, but
Indeed.
The checklist creates the structure. Am I understanding that?
Cool. Yes, you got it. That's the way to go.
I would imagine that you've seen your checklist evolve over the last years, and given the fast-changing and unpredictable environment we live and work in today, what would you add to a company that takes your advice and uses a checklist process to deal with the unpredictable?
Okay. Good question. What I would recommend is, for example, use a checklist for a debriefing. When you want to elevate your team, when you want to help your team members to become better, you should let them do the debriefing. You should them let do the talking. In order to have a structured process, it would be helpful for them to have a checklist ready that guides them through the debriefing. That way, they learn themselves without your intervening, without your correcting. So I think, yes, checklists are helpful, not always.
And if I'm understanding you in that situation with the debrief, having that checklist create some structure so that when they're debriefing whatever the situation was that provoked it, there's some consistency. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct. Yes, that's what the aim of the checklist is. It helps you to open up yourself, to be ready to analyze your own actions more deeply. With this structure, you will come across positive points, for example, and otherwise you tend to forget that.
I would love to have that checklist.
Cool. Thank you very much for the interview.
Pleasure.